Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be looking at what does your spirit team want you to know at this time. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Amethyst, along with these cards. Group 2 is the Lemonade Calcite, along with these cards. And group 3 is the Ammonite, along with these cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups, or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to, I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you would like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling cards in between groups to clear the energy of the group I've just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Amethyst, along with these cards, which I will start with to take a look at what does your spirit team want you to know. So we have Temple of Eventual Destinies, Benevolence, Spiritual Progression, Enlightenment. So you may have been going through a lot of changes in your exterior world, a lot of changes going on within you, maybe getting a lot of downloads, a lot of epiphanies, a lot of ideas that have been coming through. A lot of that energy could be kind of confusing or somewhat chaotic for you. A sense of being given the key to a lot of doors and not really sure if you're ready to unlock these things, to step through these things, things and parts of your destiny and your future that you may have really been desiring for a long time, putting a lot of time and effort infusing these things with intention, taking steps as best as you have been able to move beyond self-limiting beliefs, really seeking to heal yourself, to raise your vibration, to move beyond self-imposed limitations or experiences of the past. A lot of work that may have been done as well to heal your heart, to heal from experiences that had diminished your capacity to believe that the best is possible for yourself. Maybe even some ideas that other people had imposed upon you in terms of your capability, your worthiness, your ability to receive and to create a life that feels good. You may have really been settling for mediocrity and just trying to kind of make do and to tell yourself that that's all that there is, to just take a very maybe realistic approach, deal with what you have in front of you, and to just kind of remain in that state of gratitude for what is, but maybe a little afraid to dream for something more. And there's a sense again of kind of downloads or epiphanies that are coming in, a sense of maybe even some doors that you had closed for yourself or that had been closed to you, seeing another way into these things, an idea of another route, kind of the circuitous route to reach those goals that you may have had once upon a time for yourself. And again, a lot of this really coinciding with other ways that you have raised your vibration, that you have really sought to heal yourself and sought to kind of move beyond some of these barriers within yourself. And so your spirit team is really wanting to let you know that these ideas that you're having, these, epiphanies or these realizations, these inspirations or this pull, this longing, this yearning, this is all the result of some work that you've done internally. There can definitely be a little bit of trepidation as far as, not wanting to set yourself up for failure again, or to open yourself up and, potentially kind of have a repeat of the experiences that you've had before. Maybe some professional things that you have attempted to pursue in the past that didn't really work out or kind of fell apart. Maybe this has to do with opening your heart to love and kind of these reminders of instances in the past when you have done that ended in heartbreak, but feeling some kind of urge within you at this point in time, maybe to try again, to try from a different angle, or to again sort of pick up that mantle of inspiration, that drive to approach things from a different angle. Maybe it's some kind of a business that you wanted to start and you're being given ideas about a different way to approach this, a different way to sort of reimagine that goal that you had in mind, a different way to package this idea or to present this out into the world. Again, maybe in terms of love, this is somebody new that has stirred your romantic interests, and it's really, you're feeling kind of that budding, that blossoming within you, that excitement, almost this idea of kind of, a return to innocence again, kind of a rejuvenation within your heart. And you may have really worked to come to a place of peace or just even acceptance over disappointments you've had in the past. So there's a little bit of hesitation to lean into that, to feed that spark, feed that flame within. So again, your spirit team just letting you know that kind of what's presenting itself to you now, or what you're being called toward, this urge that you are having, it is reflective of something you have done within you, to where the changes you've made inside will necessarily yield different results for you. That doesn't mean that, your path forward will not be without its stumblings or, its detours, but it's a different series of lessons and experiences that you are being called to embark on, sort of take a leap of faith on. In some way, you have closed out some cycles, or you've kind of ascended beyond some kind of wheel that you were trapped in, some kind of, repeating experiences that you were trapped in. And to really solidify that, change, to answer that call to change at this time, it really does require you to kind of open up your mechanisms of belief. Lean into that feeling, lean into that excitement, that focus on what if things go really well, as opposed to dwelling on times in the past when things did not go according to your plan. At this point in time, really just, making that concerted effort to, again, focus on that light in the tunnel, become that light in the tunnel, allow yourself to be pulled toward that. There's an aperture in some way that has unveiled itself to you. Maybe this is not necessarily apparent in your physical reality right now, but this just might be some kind of shift, some kind of internal vibration, maybe again, downloads, epiphanies, things coming through in dreams that has really in some way, it's been kindling to kind of stoke that inner fire within. And so you're being guided to really trust in that, to explore that, feel into that, breathe life into that, and allow that to in turn infuse you with the life force energy to kind of pivot yourself out of, past cycles and this energy of closure toward a direction of new beginnings. And we also have 9 of Wands and 4 of Cups. So Nine of Wands is definitely the card of the wounded warrior. So this can relate to disappointments in love, or maybe something professionally that you experienced in the past that has made you very guarded. It's made you very cautious to open up again. With Four of Cups, this again is, these missed opportunities, things that you had really invested your heart and soul into that didn't pan out, or that dissolved, that fizzled. On this card right here, we've got this image of Khepri, and in the Egyptian pantheon, he is the deity, he is the force that every morning sort of pushes the sun up over the horizon and creates this start of the new day. So in that context, this is really, your spirit team letting you know that, again, this work that you have done within yourself, that you are capable now of moving out of this vibration of wounding. Now is the time to, allow that wisdom from the experiences that you've had in the past, the disappointments in the past, to become that driving force, to move you forward into the direction of new horizons in a way that you have not experienced before. In this card here with the Four of Cups, and we've got the ibis, which is a totem of the god Thoth in the Egyptian pantheon, and he is among other things, the god of writing. And we see here that he's got this little scroll that he's holding. So you might very soon be getting some kind of news, some kind of communication, some kind of an offer about something. Maybe something has already come in for you. And so all of this can really indicate as well with this energy of the Four of Cups, and kind of this idea of something being offered to you, something being extended to you, even in the form of communication via downloads, via epiphanies, via dreams. The universe really inviting you to take that cup, take that new opportunity that you are being given. This is an energy of fresh start here. Again, some sort of cycle that you've closed out within yourself, some sort of place of peace and acceptance that you have reached, or at least moving away from dwelling on disappointment toward cultivating yourself again, toward rebuilding yourself again. And through that dedication and through that effort, you have now called in sort of these opportunities to you. The divine is responding to that intention that you have set to move beyond experiences of disappointment in the direction of something different, something new. And so kind of that intention that you've put out there, and the work that you've put in that coincides with that, you're now receiving in accordance to that. Again, it might just be something that comes in the form of epiphanies, of inspiration, even just a spark that, takes you from a place of being very desolate within yourself to being hopeful. And with that, again, this sense of maybe trepidation, of uncertainty about, should you trust this? Should you lean further into this? Thinking back on that energy of disappointment in the past. But again, this guidance being that you're ready for this. You've done this work. You've suffered enough in these old cycles. And through setting that intention to move beyond that, to heal yourself from that, you're now entering a stage of your life where you have very successfully achieved that within yourself, and this is going to start to be mirrored in what you experience, what comes in, and the way you are interacting with people in the world around you. And we also have medicine wheel, continuation. So again, this idea of some cycles that you have closed out within yourself, within your life, making a decision at some point to, move out of this kind of wheel of repetition, going round and round, maybe going round and round in your head, ruminating about things that didn't work out, or, some kind of a heartbreak or a disappointment, and allowing that to sort of circulate and to, be part of how you sort of self-identify this energy of sort of failure or of damage within yourself. A decision to kind of step forth into that heart space, to heal your heart in some way, or even being encouraged to focus more on that healing your heart of kind of those residual sort of vapors of whatever disappointment you have experienced. It'll help kind of bring you into that next phase, that next cycle. You're at this precipice point right now. You've done so much work that now a doorway has opened for you, an aperture, an opening. There's a new horizon that you are looking toward. There's new potential. Again, not without its own series of kind of stumblings and pitfalls, and that's just part of the dynamic dance of life. It's not straight and narrow, but it's in fact winding. We kind of move closer to our goals obstacles only to sort of detour away, and kind of making the choice then to kind of resume that path. And, in that sort of energy of movement and of flow, it creates that dynamic fabric of the human experience and, the journey of our soul throughout lifetimes. So you're at this crossroads period right now to continue, infusing this intention, continue to kind of live and breathe this energy of self-love, continue to heal yourself, maybe even invest in some heart chakra meditations can be really helpful. Some kind of clearing of those energy cords within yourself. As much as you may have sort of moved beyond a lot of these circumstances in very practical ways, it does seem, your spirit team's letting you know that there does seem to be some residue in there, some kind of blocks in there. But these are not solid blocks. And this card here, it's this grass, it's these blades. It's something that can be moved through. You really have succeeded in some way transcending a major kind of barrier or block. And now you're at this point of kind of trimming down those kind of overgrown patches, sort of clearing up those loose ends, allowing yourself to move freely, not operating from the perception of block anymore, but stepping into that energy of flow, so that you are able to meet and receive the destiny that is on its way to you, so that you're able to capitalize on opportunities that present themselves, so that you're able to navigate a course towards your goals. There's also this idea here of something you had endeavored that had not worked out, and you're now being shown a different route to it. That there are different access points that are available to you to achieving that same kind of archetype or theme of what you had been wanting or working toward at some point in time. So again, one route may be having closed off, but now you've created some momentum within yourself to where it's time to start again, to try a different way, a different approach, a different method, kind of the resurrection of that core dream within you, that hope that you had maybe had to turn away from, or the wounding you had experienced had your attentions elsewhere. And we also have the time for romance has come. See it as an opportunity for a radiant life. So that can be confirmation there, as far as maybe some new love that's coming in, somebody new that has sparked your interest, a little bit of hesitation, not wanting to be hurt again by love. This can also, though, tie into, again, kind of something that you're very passionate about, some kind of an endeavor, some kind of a project, some kind of goal or dream that you had been working toward. Maybe you had built up to a certain degree, or you had achieved in a certain way, and then through various factors had come crumbling down. And so you've been in that energy of kind of nursing yourself, healing your heart, and that disappointment, that sense of maybe of failure or of wounding that stemmed from that, wounds to pride, things that may have made you maybe close off to love, or to just sort of give up on a dream and sort of take some incident of collapse as kind of the sign of utter failure. And there's a sense here of really this idea of resurrection of those dreams, resurrection of those hopes, starting again, starting fresh, that this is really, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to really crystallize and capitalize on the work that you have done to heal yourself and to move beyond whatever your difficult experiences of the past were. And by doing that, kind of the final threshold that you now must pass through is opening yourself up to taking a chance again, allowing yourself to be excited, allowing yourself to dream that the best is possible, and opening yourself up also to those kind of nudges, that intuitive guidance that comes in, these downloads, these epiphanies, trusting in that versus the climate of fear and sort of that embedded cellular memory of times when you were disappointed in the past, allowing yourself to instead shift that focus to the possibility of what if something really wonderful can happen in an area of my life where, maybe there was only sort of disappointment previously. And we also have divine presence, the force of love and creation. So another confirmation there that this could be something to do with romance, a new romance coming in, somebody that you have just recently met, or somebody who is on the horizon for you. Maybe starting to kind of sense this person energetically, encountering this person in dreams, getting a lot of signs, this kind of feeling of buildup that something's coming, but you're not quite sure what. Also in terms of creation, that idea of maybe some kind kind of a professional endeavor or a dream that hadn't really worked out, or had kind of fallen apart before. And this idea of resurrecting that, kind of taking that wisdom, that experience from the past, and using that to arm you to make better choices, trusting in your discernment and how that has grown, and understanding as well that to move forward, to actually create something, to make your experiences of the past matter, it does require that leap of faith. It does require that action. It requires moving out of that space of just thinking what if and doing something about that. Again, this idea of divine presence, that your spirit team is with you. They're very much helping you, infusing this, showing the way, pointing out signs for things that opportunities you might need to make the most of, or kind of some nudges as far as, maybe somebody new that you've met and you're a little bit uncertain about that, and you're starting to see signs about that. You're starting to kind of feel something about that that's sort of pushing you towards that, that's giving you that, very affirmative confirmation of go for it, lean into this, explore this, see what this has to offer. And so again, just really being guided to trust in that. Trust that whatever, happens, whatever the outcome is, and whatever this situation is, there's something to be learned, there's something to be gained from it. And based on the work that you've done within yourself, it's a different series of treasures than what you have managed to collect, even out of your kind of darkest and most disappointing experiences of the past. And we also have time to evolve decisions. It's not a negative situation, but a necessary one. Having the awareness to see it from your soul's perspective, that you chose much of this before you incarnated, is needed. This releases the victimhood mentality and pulls back your power. We must go through trials and tribulations as an opportunity to evolve. How you choose to interpret the situation hinges on your growth or not. So again, this idea here with this imagery of kind of this broken road, you've closed out some kind of a cycle, you've learned all that you could out of something, and now is that time to take that leap of faith. There's a whole new horizon that awaits you, there's a new experience that awaits you, but it requires you stepping out of that comfort zone, realizing that you no longer are being compelled to be trapped in former cycles, that you've done the work, you've sort of reached the end of the road with that. And, everybody has a choice. You can continue to kind of remain at this precipice, looking with longing at, that period of what if, that point of what if, that, that curiosity, that learning, that longing. Or you also have the choice then to take that leap of faith, to take some kind of action steps to, receive that, to experience that, whatever that is. And also this idea of, as much as you may have already done it, but we can always, it's something that it can continue to come up, the things that disappoint us or hurt us from the past. And it's always an opportunity to kind of review that, to infuse that with love, to understand that every closed door and dead end in your life has been sort of kind of a recalibration. It has been that slight adjustment in your navigation system. It has changed your trajectory in some way to create deeper alignment for what is actually meant for you. And when we look at our life and the experiences that we've had with people, even the most difficult things, we can cultivate a sense of gratitude within ourselves, recognizing the blessings that we have around us currently. And had it not been for disappointments of the past, we would not have come to a place of alignment to be in proximity to these things now. And so when we can, learn to sort of not even necessarily forgive the past or, forgive the experiences, or just kind of put that into a place of neutrality, or dismiss these things like they didn't matter. They did matter. The pain that you experienced was very real. The disappointment you experienced was very real. And it's very necessary to recognize it as that, to call it by its name, but to also understand its purpose. Almost this idea of the gale winds that are shifting your ship closer in the direction of that horizon, that destination that is meant for you. And when we look at things from that angle, even the deepest heartbreaks or the greatest disappointments can again be viewed with a sense of gratitude. Almost thank you for the rejection. Thank you for that no. Thank you for that closed door. Because were it not for that perspective would not have been shifted in the direction of what is meant for you. You know, that yes, that affirmation, that acceptance, that receptivity. So again, your spirit team just really encouraging you to, the time is now to take that leap of faith, to kind of close out old cycles or even an old perspective of viewing yourself as you are in your life right now, and kind of the experiences that have shaped you and have kind of brought you to this point, this crossroads point in your journey. So I'm going to close this reading for you with an affirmation. This can be something maybe that you'll use as a mantra, or just some kind of little bit of reminder at this point in time. Actually, 2 came out, so I will take them both. Okay, so we have patience. Be patient and allow destiny to unfold at its own pace. So that really does tie in with this idea of, just taking that leap of faith, even if it's just opening your heart to the possibility of experiencing something different than what you have experienced in the past. That this is a crucial kind of juncture you find yourself at now in your life, with whatever is coming through, however this resonates, if it's in terms of love or maybe something in terms of career, or even some kind of a combination of these things, many of these things presenting itself to you. Not feeling this need to, rush to that horizon, but just taking that first step, opening yourself up more, and just sort of allowing yourself to be led, allowing yourself to be led by that cord of love, by these, this inspiration, these epiphanies that are coming through. Leaning into that feeling of being overwhelmed and being uncomfortable, being very patient with yourself during this process of kind of stepping out of your comfort zone, of shedding an old skin, shedding an old perspective, or recognizing that you have closed out a cycle, sort of waking up to the reality that you are already in a new cycle. It can be very easy to kind of think of ourselves as trapped only because we do not sense our own liberation has taken place. And so that feels like something that, a point that you might be at, or maybe you are kind of starting to approach this. It may present itself in different ways. Maybe it already is or will kind of in the near future. Maybe with that idea also of that communication and something which really comes in that opens your eyes, or again, some kind of an offer or just something that comes up that is presenting as a new door that is opening. It's sort of a new infusion. It's a new opportunity. Being very patient with yourself through this process of healing, trying not to rush things, just leaning into that and really stepping into that kind of state of flowing and allowing. And we also have inner alchemy. Inner alchemy is achieved when you react to fear with love. So again, that idea of maybe even reframing how you have viewed disappointments and heartbreaks of the past, not excusing these things, not negating these things, but almost taking your power back from these situations through a state of gratitude. Gratitude for the disappointments that you've experienced, for the people that rejected you, from the things that fell apart, because all these things, they served a larger purpose to sort of recalibrate the direction you were headed in, to nudge you slightly or in a very great way toward another aspect of your path in this lifetime. We are never off course. There are so many different routes to our eventual destination. And whatever it is that we go through the choices that we make, the choices that we choose not to embark upon, how we are affected by the choices others make, or the things that they decline to participate in. All of these things, it's many different roads, again, to that same destination. And so it seems that you're at this point of, again, this idea of alchemy, of transmuting this kind of lead in your life, this very dense and kind of toxicity within you, and turning that into almost like the paved stones upon which you are then walking to that gold, toward, in the direction of what sets your soul on fire, in the direction of kind of your greatest joy, and experiencing and sort of embodying and being infused with and surrounded by this vibration of love. Also taking that perspective that, maybe even a series of recurrent cycles that have happened, a series of disappointments, that this isn't the end of the story. This doesn't, that only needs to be the final destination if you choose for that to be. We have the ability to change course at any time. And that starts first and foremost by changing the course of our thoughts and our perceptions. And by doing that, we can shift our vibration and again, bring ourselves into alignment with different kinds of experiences, ways in which we raise our vibration, the sort of beacon that sends out, and then what is magnetized in, what is brought in, who responds to that call. It all starts with the vibration we hold inside. If we hold a lot of toxicity, a lot of resentment, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of disappointment, we send that out. And almost like a homing beacon, it brings in sort of confirming experiences. So, part of what we can do is take ownership of healing ourselves, working beyond these things, raising that vibration, keeping that vibration strong, keeping that optimism strong, allowing the fire within us to kind of smolder down to embers at times, realizing that it can never truly be extinguished. Taking that time of just kind of rest and reflection to feel and experience maybe disappointments or heartbreaks. But then at some point making that decision to try again, to stoke the flame within us, to rejuvenate ourselves, to breathe life back into ourselves, in order to, pivot in a new direction. Opening ourselves up to new experiences, setting that intention, does have the very tangible effect of bringing in a different series of circumstances. It all starts in our belief system, what we believe is possible, what we believe is the story for ourselves and of ourselves. We have the ability to rewrite that narrative at any time. We have the ability to say, this is not how my future will be. We have the ability to leave our past behind and choose a different road, choose a different path, choose a different method of, even processing sort of what life has participated with us. In what ways has it participated with us in order to shape us into where we are now, to strengthen us, to arm us, and to invite us to become very soft and gentle within ourself. And through that combination of kind of strength and vulnerability, we're then able to pivot ourselves kind of into the next phase and direction of our life, closer to that goal of peace and contentment and fulfillment within ourselves. So a very powerful time for you now, group 1, and your spirit team is just encouraging you to be very open and receptive to what comes through. Take things at a pace that is comfortable for you, but really just focus and infuse yourself with the belief that different experiences are possible for you, that they're coming towards you, and that you're at this point, you are ready to embark on a new experience within your life. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry in my Etsy shop if you are interested in checking that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the Lemonade Calcite, along with these cards, which I will take a look at to see what does your spirit team want you to know at this time. So we have auric cleansing, replenishment, renewal, restoration. So you may have been going through some energy shifts recently, maybe some things even falling away from your material world, some things really being shaken up, stirred, shifting for you. Again, internally or in your physical kind of reality. And your spirit team is wanting to let you know that all of this, as overwhelming as that can be, as kind of chaotic as that can feel, that you're in this process of evolution. You're in this kind of cleansing or preparatory stage within yourself of sort of shedding some vibrations, some densities within yourself, in order to kind of harness and embody and to be able to be a beacon of a higher frequency within you. Kind of these energetic shifts that are occurring for you, that naturally is sort of rippling out, it's radiating out. It's this idea of as within, so without. The shifts that are occurring within you are then manifested out in your physical world. This can, relate to how you're feeling right now. You might be feeling kind of off kilter, very intense. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you find these messages and they resonate with you, this is certainly applicable. But at the time I'm recording this, we just finished with the Lionsgate portal on August 8th, and the full moon in Aquarius. There's been a lot of things happening cosmically, a lot of things, coronal ejections and kind of these solar storms that have been happening. It's just been this huge kind of influx of energy kind of coming into and affecting the earth and life on earth, people included. So that can definitely have been affecting you, especially if you're very sensitive. Recently, you might have just been feeling very discombobulated, almost kind of this idea of sort of being in a blender, being very, kind of reshaped, sort of taken apart and put back together. A lot coming in, a lot kind of having to soak into you. And, with that coming in, it's almost simultaneously making room for this newness to come in. Kind of this very high and intense nourishment of energy, of cosmic energy coming down. And the ways in which kind of your physical body is processing, or is rather responding, is interpreting what is happening at the energetic level. And for those of you that have really been working on raising your vibration, doing a lot of shadow work, coming to a place of balance within yourself, you're most likely going to be the ones that are feeling this more intensely. You have raised your vibration so sufficiently that almost like an antenna, you are higher up in the sky to be able to pick this up very, intensely, very pure, at kind of this unadulterated form and bring it in. Versus, people that don't really take the time to explore themselves. They don't take the time to sort of question cycles or question how they are moving through the world. They just continue to sort of remain within kind of distortions and never really, again, introspect or take the time to kind of puzzle that out and find meaning and kind of how to make the most of that. So the way that, people with that kind of perspective, with that sort of, lens, they would also be feeling these things, but maybe a little less intensely, because it's had time to kind of filter. It's had time to sort of, sift down. They're getting almost an aroma of that energy, versus if you've been doing that work and you've almost, you're higher up in that vibration, that you're picking it up very purely from, source where it is emanating. So that can provide some kind of explanation of what's happening right now. And again, your spirit team just wanting you to know to, just very, try to keep perspective with this. Be very gentle with yourself at this time. Allow this energy to just flow through you, to wash through you. Process it as much as you can. Maybe you're needing to spend time outdoors in nature to kind of ground, to kind of help to, bring that energy down from where it's circulating within you, circulating within your auric field, and to kind of, dissipate some of that. If you aren't already spending time outdoors, that can be very helpful. So that again, you can kind of release some of that excess energy that otherwise is just, it's kind of circulating and moving and colliding everywhere within you. And you can kind of ground that out, release that into the earth. The earth can then absorb some of that and kind of take some of that excess from you, to provide you more of a sense of equilibrium, a sense of stability as well. And this can be something where, maybe journaling or meditation or yoga, just things that really kind of bring you to that point of center within yourself. So that you're able to really hold on to perspective. You're able to almost just breathe through what is happening. It's something where, you're really being advised not to try to fight this, not to try to resist this, resist the temptation to resist as much as possible. Understand that it will pass in time. It's almost a process that is happening. It's almost the, kind of the physical manifestation of when we hear people talk about raise your vibration. And instances like this where you've been doing that work and you've raised your vibration, it's almost evidence of then how you are interacting with sort of forces within yourself, forces within the cosmos, within the world. You are a greater receptor of that kind of infusion that comes from the heavens. And it's something to where, as that's coming down, the changes that are happening within you, the way in which you're almost being sort of reformatted or shaped or molded, it's going to unlock a lot of doors for you, a lot of things that have maybe been dormant within your DNA, gifts from your lineage, gifts from within your soul coming online. You might notice some psychic gifts that are really starting to increase or are starting to ramp up at this point in time, and also some guidance that this will temper out as well. There's a lot that's happening. There's a lot that's being activated and reshaped. So again, just kind of leaning into that, being very gentle with yourself. Even maybe doing a lot of cleansings on yourself, sea salt baths, or working with sage to kind of clear off some of that excess of what's coming through, to help kind of move that energetic debris of sort of that old version of self, that old vibration you were embodying, to allow that to kind of dissipate and move through you. Kind of creating that environment for yourself in order for the new version to kind of step forth from kind of the vibration you were operating at previously. In terms of even things in your material world, or even people around you that might be kind of volatile, or just a lot of confusion that is happening. Again, just trying to find that perspective, find that sanctuary within, go to that temple within, that garden within, through meditation, through yoga, through time in nature, through artwork, through journaling, through music. Just in some way tap into that sanctuary. Take time for yourself. Take time, out and kind of away from people and from very intense or harsh kind of environments or situations. If you are feeling very called to do that can provide you with some perspective. And again, just really sort of give yourself some breathing space as all of this is taking place. And we also have Queen of Pentacles and King of Swords. So with this King of Swords here, and he's got this athame, this blade, almost, like the Ace of Swords, like, that truth, that download, that clarity, this image of almost an antenna. And he is holding that in his left hand. So the left side of the body being that yin energy, that receptive energy, and really just that confirmation of maybe these downloads that you're getting, this energy that is sort of coming into you. And again, he's got, his right hand, the yang energy, the active polarity of energy. He's got that face to the ground. So again, this idea that grounding can be very important at this point in time. It's also, this confirmation of perspective that what you are feeling and what you're experiencing in your physical vessel is the result of, some energies that you are being infused with. It's nothing to be scared of. It's nothing to be, overly worried about. Obviously, whatever you need to do to kind of maintain some perspective or gain a sense of stability in that is crucial. Taking care of your own health and well-being is first and foremost. But to at least also, open up to that understanding that what is happening It's a very organic process. It might be very intense, but it is something which will dissipate, allowing this to move through you, and kind of shedding that excess as much as possible, allowing your body, your physical body, the environment in which you are in, kind of your energy and your molecules and your perspective, allowing these things to kind of take shape in a new way. There's this energy here also with this King of Swords of kind of cutting away from what no longer serves. So again, this perspective of things that might be shifting in your external environment, things that are kind of collapsing, doors that are closing, circumstances that are really being shaken up. It's this energy of endings in preparation for beginnings that want to come in. With this Queen of Pentacles here, and she's got these flowers in her left hand, that receptivity. It's a kind of an extension of that this energy that's coming in, it is opening you up to be able to receive a greater level of abundance within yourself, to be able to kind of take that energy of abundance, that energy of receptivity, and again, ground it down into the material world. If you're getting a lot of downloads at this point in time, these things can really provide kind of in hindsight or maybe just these nudges that are coming up of some kind of an endeavor, some kind of a gift that you have, something that is being enhanced within you that can help to again create some sort of material stability and abundance for you. We have here also the sun disk up in the corner of this card with these rays kind of shining down, and again this idea of this illumination, these very high vibrational energies that are coming and that are infusing you, kind of this guidance here that all is well, as chaotic as this might feel. This is really coming from on high. This is, cosmic energies. It might be helpful as well. I know there are different websites out there that kind of track these things, that, talk about these solar storms that we get. A lot of things happening with the sun right now, and kind of as we're experiencing that vibration, those energies, as they are, touching upon the earth and affecting us here on the earth. Us here on the earth. This might be something that could be helpful for you to, just as you would, watch your weather forecast, just as you would, read your local news or follow current events, kind of tracking that as well, following that as well. What is charted, what is forecasted, that can help you to get some perspective, to help you understand kind of how you are experiencing these things, to sort of chart that and track that for yourself as these phenomena are happening. When are you experiencing kind of shifts within yourself? How is that manifesting for you? And through that process, you can also really come to a greater understanding of your sensitivity and your connectedness, not just to the world around you and the people around you, but also on a cosmic level. This process really bringing your attention to a greater sense of connectivity, that everything is related. This idea of as above, so below as well. And we also have great mystery, trust. So again, that guidance to really just trust what is happening, trust what you're feeling. Try not to fight this as much as possible. Understand that you're being empowered at this time. What is happening within you energetically, it is serving to kind of shape you into a vibration, into being able to hold and sustain and emanate a vibration, so that you are able to move through the world with more confidence, so that you are able to move through the world with certainty in the direction of your purpose in this life. And even things that you might have been endeavoring, this is almost a boost. This is almost creating a greater capacity to achieve those things for yourself. A greater sensitivity, or again, just a greater ability to kind of hold that and maintain that higher vibration, so that lower density vibrations, as you are encountering them, this is almost, a thickening of the skin, a refining of that, so that you're not as, apt to be kind of dragged back down or kind of, kicked off your pedestal as easily. You're not able to be rattled as readily as you have been before, kind of stepping into that personal truth, stepping into that courage in the face of adversity, so that you're able to kind of walk through fire almost to achieve your goals then in the future. And we've also got this butterfly here, so symbols of transformation. So a transmutation is happening. This idea of, almost being in this chrysalis stage right now, where your body, your life, your vibration as you once knew it, in kind of this caterpillar stage, this kind of limitedness to you, very earthbound, and being in this process of dissolving that body in an energetic sense, dissolving that body as that kind of emanates out into your material reality, in order to be reformed and reshaped into this new being, into this new entity, this new version of self that, when the time is right, is able to kind of burst forth, to really touch on different horizons, and in some way to kind of actualize your purpose in this lifetime. That this is a very major changing point for you. This is a very major kind of preparation for some kind of next step in your journey. So again, just leaning into that trust, trying to just go with the flow of this as much as possible without trying to put all the pieces together, but trusting that in time, what you're going through and kind of what is shifting within you and around you, it'll make sense in terms of kind of where you find yourself then further down the road from this experience. And we also have, it is time for a change. Do not wait or put off decisions any longer. So again, that energy of change and transmutation, things really morphing and shifting. We've also got the butterfly again, so another confirmation there of, this transformational process, this inner alchemy that is taking place. And as this is taking place, the work that you have done within yourself to be able to receive these higher vibrations coming into you, you're at this stage now of transformation, of what you have, been able to touch on and take in, and how that is reshaping you. So leaning into that process and understanding something very beautiful will come out of this, that out of this chaos, a new version of self will be revealed, and that you will be able to reveal to the world. And this can also be with this energy of a time for change. This might really be time during all this kind of what is shifting within you, taking that time to really think about where you have been in your life. Where are you wanting to go? Set some intentions, explore maybe some different habits for self-care as well, or things that, maybe if it's something like meditation, but you're not very consistent with that practice, that what is going on now, that this can be that opportunity to become more serious with that, to become more diligent with that, to look at that as a gift that you can give yourself every day, to not really, put these things off, or, to start prioritizing self-care as well at this point in time. If this is something where, you're a very driven person, maybe you work a lot, you're very serious about your goals, you have a hard time kind of resting, relaxing, sort of taking time for yourself, then this overwhelm that is happening, it's almost, this can be that very kind of screaming invitation to really just take a rest, take it easy, take a break on yourself, be very gentle with yourself, to not, defer that quiet time, or maybe that day where you just, you're not on your phone all day, but you're out in nature, you're out walking around. The things that you've been telling yourself you're too busy to do, you don't have time for this, you don't have time for that. Making time for these things, creating some balance within you between periods of time where you're out there and you're being very proactive, you're being very assertive, you're working towards your goals, and kind of learning to sort of marry that with periods of time where you are in quiet, you are in stillness, you are in contemplation, you are open to that receptivity, you are open to the guidance that wants to come through, allowing that to really take shape within you. And then when you get those nudges, when the time feels right, trusting that kind of that inner nudge within you about where to take that forth, kind of learning yourself, learning the cues that your body gives you about when it's time to rest and when it is time for action. A lot of you can definitely be, again, just very motivated, very driven, a lot of pressure on yourself to kind of make the most of your time, to, you know, if you're somebody who's really actively engaged in spirituality, and again, raising your vibration, you could put a lot of pressure on yourself to kind of sort out things, to work through things, work through some shadows, raise that vibration. And it's all this kind of effort and intention and energy that it's been put in. And so what's happening now, maybe energetically or even cosmically, as that's coming down, it's almost the universe saying that, you know, now's the time, these seeds that you have planted, that you've put this intention in, now's the time to just rest and allow these things to unfold, allow these things to occur, that we need to kind of create this balance between action and receptivity in order to see the greatest potential for results. And we also have the healing heart. Love, acceptance, romance. So you might be experiencing some heart chakra activation at this point in time. And with that, with everything that's coming in, these energies that are coming in, really this guidance from your spirit team to use these energies to your advantage. You know, as chaotic as things might feel, that's really, it's an indication of a high vibration, a high electromagnetic pulse that you are radiating. As much as you are taking this in, your aura is just vibrating. It's glowing at this point in time. This is a very potent energy. It's a very potent time. So part of that process of just kind of creating that grounding is using this energy to your advantage, using this energy to heal your heart, to, you know, kind of crack through any blocks that you may have, or kind of these subconscious wounds or hooks to the past that are still deeply embedded within you. In some way at this point in time, you have the capacity to really direct and focus this energy that you are taking into yourself in a way that can help to eradicate a lot of these things on a level that you might not have been able to access during your ordinary process of shadow work and of release. So at this time, you know, heart chakra meditations can be very helpful. You can actually most likely experience greater results further down the road from that by making the most of this time. There's no time like the present. We are always, you know, receiving and kind of in contact and in communion with these kind of cosmic energies, these universal energies. And again, if this is, you know, at some point beyond kind of this time period when I am recording this video, this same theory can apply. But to deliberately almost open yourself up, you know, ask the universe, set that intention. Please infuse me with the velocity necessary to break through the walls within my own heart that I have placed around myself or others have kind of projected upon me. And that by doing that, you almost are, just as much as kind of energetically you're being liberated from a former version of self, you have the ability to liberate yourself from kind of blocks to receptivity of love, receptivity of abundance. Again, this idea here of, you know, really taking this energy in order to create greater abundance for yourself in the future. An upgrade of sorts that is happening that increases your ability to receive that abundant energy, to be, you know, the creator of abundance for yourself in your own life. And we also have spirit guidance, co-creation. Your spirit guides and guardians are here to assist and to help you evolve into your authentic self. The time is now to see yourself as your spiritual team sees you. They ask that you remove all limiting thoughts and open yourself up to them. Meditation and asking for signs are a great way to deepen your connection. So again, that guidance there about, you know, really cultivating a meditation practice for yourself, or giving yourself the gift at this time to really kind of step into that space within you. For some of you, that can be, you know, actual formal meditation, but meditation can take place in different ways. It can be, you know, listening to music that makes you feel very good. You enter into that state of joy. That is a meditative state. You know, doing things like artwork. You can even achieve that kind of meditative state through yoga, through exercise, through doing the dishes, through any kind of a sort of a repetitive kind of task where you're able to kind of open yourself up to that space of receptivity, that zone within yourself, allowing, setting the intention to open yourself up to that, allowing what needs to come through, and trying not to really decipher that, trying not to really make sense of that, but allowing that to kind of take shape and form within you, kind of opening yourself up to that, the energy of being that conduit for what is wanting to come through to you, and for maybe what is already happening. Praying for guidance, praying for assistance, feeling the presence of your spirit team with you, asking for some kind of help and relief in this as well, as far as even going out in nature to ground, really setting that intention to please alleviate some of the excess energy that you're feeling, to please help to provide some perspective about what's going on in your life, or the direction that you should be going forward. Again, this idea of co-creation, this is a very potent time for you, a very potent time where you can really kind of take your self-healing endeavors to the next level, a very potent time where you have the ability to really create some kind of a plan or a roadmap for yourself as far as where you want your journey of life to shift moving forward. As much as there's this energy of things kind of falling away and kind of being broken down and changing, all of that is the prelude to growth and to rebirth. So at this point in time, as you're flowing through that, as you're really sitting with that and allowing it to infuse through you, using this opportunity to again really chart out a course for yourself, as these doors are closing, what would you like to open? What would you like to open to? What would you like to create for yourself? So I'm going to get an affirmation card to close this reading for you, group 2. This can be some more guidance, or maybe even kind of a mantra, something you might want to keep in mind at this point in time. And 2 of them came out, so I will take both. We have no limitations. You are a celestial being with unlimited potential. There is much for you to share. So this is this idea, again, of these blocks within you that are being broken down, being very conscious at this point in time to make the most of this energy, make the most of this opportunity, to not resist the process that is taking place within you, but to create sanctuary or seek sanctuary for yourself within yourself, as much or as often as you need to, in order to kind of create some stability and balance within yourself, kind of reshifting your focus over what is happening, even things that are sort of falling away or being shaken up in your life, that in some way what no longer serves you is being cleared out, so that you are in that place of greater receptivity, for stepping further beyond the limits of maybe a vibration or circumstances that resonated with you, or a version of yourself at one point in time. You're being prepared to be able to receive and experience and emanate kind of a greater vibration, a different type of balance, a different type of equilibrium than what you had known before. And we also have free spirit. To be a free spirit is to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without condition. So again, this idea of, in some way, you are being liberated from a vibration that you once held. You've done so much work to kind of put yourself in that high vibration that you're now able to receive a greater intensity of kind of this transformational cosmic energy. You're able to receive that and to allow that to process through your body. And so again, kind of this idea of breaking down within the cocoon in order that the butterfly may be kind of formed and then emerge at some point in time. So really taking this time to make the most of this, to dig deep, to harness this energy that you are experiencing and using that to blast through blocks and limitations, to eradicate any kind of perception within yourself that you are less than absolutely worthy and deserving of a life that is not just satisfying, but that feels wonderful for yourself. You're at a point in time of coming into greater alignment and greater proximity with whatever makes your heart sing, whether that's something to do with a greater greater capacity to give and receive romantic love, whether this is a greater capacity to pursue and achieve and embody, you know, professional goals that you have, spiritual goals that you have. In some way, you know, this process, this chaos, this tumultuous energy, it's freeing you in order to be able to kind of live your life and step more into that authenticity without some of the boundaries that are no longer necessary, or even vibrationally can no longer come with you on this next step of your journey in this lifetime. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 3. You chose the Ammonite along with these cards, which I'll take a look at to see what does your spirit team want you to know at this time. So we have Seal of Fulfilled Transformation, Alchemy, Metamorphosis, Karmic Completion. So your spirit team wanting to congratulate you. You have leveled up in some capacity. You have done some great work and have succeeded in closing out some patterns, some habits within yourself, belief systems, or even a vibration that you were holding. You might find that you are kind of experiencing this sudden sense of relief, maybe something that had really been kind of plaguing you for a while, that had really had stuck with you or had been ruminating within you. Maybe this is still an energy that you are carrying right now, something that has really just been bothering you, that you've just not been able to close out or to clear out. And this is really, you know, an indication that you know, you either have come to that point where you have successfully done that, or you're kind of right on that precipice of closing that out, of feeling that relief, coming to that space of peace with where you have been, where you are, and where you are going. This feels like an energy of, you know, really that personal process of alchemy, taking that lead of disappointment, of kind of sorrow and despair and apathy, and the ways in which you have really sought to extract the wisdom from these things and to let the rest go. Things that you've been endeavoring on, maybe a relationship of the past, somebody that, you know, you've been energetically tied with, and you've been making a lot of effort to reinvest the focus in yourself, to pour into your own cup, to not feed into that vibration of disappointment or toxicity or stuck energy. And this is really guidance that breakthrough is at hand for that, that the work you've done has been very successful in what may have felt almost like something that you've been dragging along with you. You are now at this place of being able to let that go, of being able to move forward beyond that, very unencumbered. A lot of, in terms of karmic completion, this can also talk about generational cycles that you have incarnated within a particular bloodline to overcome or to close out. This could be patterns and habits relating to relationship styles. This can be instances about kind of self-esteem or perspective, place in the world, maybe experiences that your family has kind of repeated or has been kind of a consistent theme, maybe even cultural things that archetypally have just kind of followed your family through time, through the ages, and something in the work that you have been doing or that you are involved in right now. You're in this process of liberating yourself, and you are in turn liberating those that came before you. This is almost that energy of providing that reparation energetically for others who were not able to achieve or experience that in their lifetime, by restoring yourself to an understanding of your state of innate wholeness. By healing yourself, you are healing others. By shifting into that state within yourself, you're carrying that vibration to then spread that forth to generations to come if you choose to have offspring. But this can even relate kind of at the soul level, souls that you are tied to, that you kind of move throughout time and space with, that the work you are doing here in the material plane, as it presents itself in kind of the guise and circumstances of your individual life, that this is emanating out to those other souls that are attached to you, both the ones that are incarnated currently in physical reality and those that remain on the etheric plane as guides, as support systems, or that are in between incarnations and are kind of in that space of sort of rest and reflection. Some guidance here from your spirit team to not underestimate the work that you are doing to heal yourself and to break out of cycles and patterns within your life personally. You are being of great and immeasurable service to souls beyond your comprehension. It's not only service to self, it's service to others, it's service to kind of a greater collective, so to speak. So that again, this vibration that you are creating within yourself of kind of liberation, this taking back of your own power, you are infusing that across these kind of chords. That becomes the narrative, that becomes a greater potential for these other souls to then experience or to work toward or to achieve through their various incarnations. So this feels like a very congratulatory energy, a lot of really good work that you have done. In some way, there's also this idea of reclaiming some lost pieces of yourself. Now, whether this is coming to terms with maybe some difficulties in your past and kind of bringing that all back into self, taking your power back from these circumstances, or from people, or just even ways in which other people sort of even projected their distortions upon you, maybe through your family of origin or culture, or even just the time that we live in. And in some way questioning these things, and really, seeking to bring home parts of yourself that have been estranged or that you have kind of misconstrued as shadows, seeing these things as strengths, as part of who you are, of that fabric, that play of light and darkness within you, and in some way incorporating these into a greater wholeness of how you understand yourself, and that this being, of great service, not just to yourself, but to others as well. So guidance and encouragement to keep up whatever you are doing in that capacity, because you've really graduated to the next level in some way within yourself energetically, and it's what you're doing, this methodology or the intention that you are setting. It is of great importance, and it is having measurable success within you, and then also vibrationally in what you are emanating out. And we also have 9 of Pentacles and Queen of Swords. So with this 9 of Pentacles, this is really bringing to mind, this energy of independence, this energy of autonomy. Again, taking your power back, this idea of, collecting these different pieces of yourself and bringing them all back home. We've got here this cobra, this kundalini energy, this energy of empowerment, that somehow, maybe your light has been dimmed. You have been coiled at the base of your own spine, so to speak. You have hidden yourself away, or your light has been suppressed in some way, either through the circumstances you find yourself in that you grew up in, or this can also be something you've carried forth through lifetimes, as an individual soul, and also souls that you are a part of, that you are connected to. You all have kind of carried this luminance that has become just a little pinpoint within you. There's a sense of liberating that, a sense of your light shining even brighter through the work that you've done on yourself, freeing yourself from kind of that self-imposed cage or that place of hiding. We also have the Eye of Horus here, so that is a protective energy that is really, encouragement from your spirit team to keep forward with what you are doing. You're protected at this time. You're being watched over at this time. The work that you are doing is not going unnoticed, and it can feel very scary and very vulnerable to kind of step beyond our comfort zones, to speak up when we were quiet, or to take ownership of parts of ourselves that we have been ashamed of, that we have kind of pushed away. But you're being guided to, recognize that fear and confront that anyway. That you're surrounded by a very loving vibration, kind of in this idea of, a cloak that surrounds you from the unseen realms. That as you are stepping forth, through those kind of blocks of fear, to really tap into that as well. The love of all these generations that came before you and those that are yet to come, and just, ask for their strength. Ask for their guidance, ask for their help, for signs to show the way. Ask for that companionship. Thank them for their companionship, their encouragement, support, inspiration, and love through this process. And with that, kind of understanding part of your role in this lifetime is that fearless energy. It's that warrior of love, loving yourself enough to love all of you. Even the most kind of difficult parts, as well as the most exalted parts, bringing these things together to understand yourself and to embody yourself unapologetically, exactly as you are, flaws and all. And with this Queen of Swords here, this is, again, this idea where she's got this kind of athame, this blade, this Ace of Swords, this truth. And she is holding that in her right hand, this yang energy, this action-oriented energy. There's a sense of not dimming your light, allowing that to shine forth, finding some kind of authenticity with the left hand and that receptivity, that yin energy, pulling up these pieces, pulling up that greatest version of self from where it has been hiding within the depths, within the subconscious, within yourself, or even wounds within your past, within your heritage, within your bloodline, things that were kind of squashed or extinguished, or were kind of exiled, bringing these things forth, allowing these things to come out into the light, to be expressed freely within you, fearlessly within you, which can also bring up wounds of persecution. That might be something else that you are facing right now. Kind of this idea of even previous generations and incarnations of yourself and even of your lineage, and experiences of being persecuted or of being ostracized for certain things, and how that may have translated, kind of carried on through kind of time and space, to where there's this hesitancy to step forth, to shine your light fully, because of that soul memory of times in the past where that was met with resistance. It was met with obstacle or with peril even. And really you're being guided to kind of actively work through those fears, to kind of take that blade of truth, instill in yourself this sense of safety in this lifetime, that what your soul or what your kind of lineage has experienced in the past, this doesn't need to be the future. You are the breaker of these chains for yourself and for others, and it's one of your tasks to do that in this lifetime, to capture that light within you, to stoke that fire and let that rise, to share that, to shine that out unapologetically. And that by doing that, you not only heal yourself and you heal this wound within you, this inclination to stay small and hidden in some way, but you provide that healing across time and space. not just for souls attached to you, but you are able to kind of emanate that out for other souls. It becomes almost a universal vibration, or it's, tapping more into that sense of limitlessness that is there for everybody. And we also have medicine shield protection. So again, another emphasis there that you are, you're protected, you're surrounded with love at this time as you are kind of breaking down these barriers, you're breaking down these walls within self, you're stepping into that truth. You're raising your vibration, you're capturing that voice within you. You are coming to a place within you where, that voice, that truth, that authenticity of who you are, it needs to be expressed, it needs to be spoken. It's a very noble vibration. It's a vibration of fearlessness. It's a vibration of love, which kind of transcends all obstacles. And again, this guidance from your spirit team that, this is a very crucial part of your soul purpose in this lifetime. For some of you, this can be some kind of truth that you are, meant to sort of share and to speak with others, to be kind of an inspiration for others. This is also something, just an inspiration within your own life. It doesn't need to be anything grand and major. It's just the way you walk through the world and how that touches other people. From the most casual encounters to the most monumentous. When you hold that vibration of being unapologetically yourself, you hold that vibration of, being that very unique combination of factors and experiences of dreams and hopes and fears, and you allow all of that to become this fabric. That authenticity becomes your shield. When you know who you are and you stand in that truth, then there's nobody who can, defeat that. It's that truth. It's impermeable. It's who you are. The distortions that might be projected upon you, kind of the ways in which people might try to question that or may attempt to, kind of make you shrink down, may be very uncomfortable by that. You might be experiencing a lot of people who are very uncomfortable with you stepping into your power, stepping into that authenticity, but you're guided that authenticity, it is your shield, it is your protection, because it's unquestionable. It's knowing that truth within that is singular, that truth that, it's something, it's undiminished, it's infallible. When you are standing in your authenticity, it's something where, there is no comparison to that. And the effect that you have, the inspiration you can have upon others, to show people the courage, to stand in that, to speak that truth, despite how that might be, received by others, despite people that may understand that or people that, may shun that. The importance is of honoring yourself first and foremost. And when you do that, you are then able to kind of touch others in a way that is very unique. From maybe, more of a dimmed down or a diluted version of how people often present themselves. This idea of kind of the discontinuation of a certain degree of, again, dimming your light or maybe trying to play a role or put on some kind of a mask or facade in order to move through the world out of fear of persecution or even just a lack of acceptance within yourself. For the very unique attributes of who you are that might not have been understood by others in the past or might have been kind of ridiculed by others in the past. And so you sort of folded these deep within. These are a gift that you are meant to express out to the world and to really hold that vibration of authenticity. And we also have you are unique. Be brave, a little crazy, but be yourself. So again, this idea of authenticity, letting your light shine, regardless of how that is received by others. There will be people that understand you and resonate with you and love that and see that light, can feel that light and appreciate that light. There will be others that, will feel threatened by that. They won't understand it. It will confuse them. Even people around you as you're kind of stepping into that personal empowerment, that personal growth. There's people around you who might, they might not want to change. They had become used to the version of you that you had been presenting. Your change is the invitation for their change, and not everybody wants to change. Some people, in this Everyone has to come to that place, that decision personally. It can't be compelled. It can't be forced upon anyone. It's this idea of your light irritating their demons, perhaps. But in no way should that make you shut down your light or dim that. It's almost the idea of, kind of inviting people to do that work within themselves, setting that example, that template, that kind of the irritant it's the doorway to that healing. It's the doorway to the medicine. There will be people out there who are kind of triggered and irritated by your light, but in a way that becomes very constructive for them, in a way that, it kind of sets some wheels in motion. It taps on some seeds that then leads to their own growth and development, their own unpacking of these things and some realizations. Whether or not they're able to tie that back to you directly is irrelevant. It's just something in the energy exchange and the vibration between you and others as you are moving through the world, and you and the world are really kind of touching upon each other. And there are other people who will, be very refreshed by that vibration of authenticity. It'll be that encouragement for them too to start to shine their light, or that confirmation to continue shining their light, because there are others out there who are geared toward that vibration of authenticity, that vibration of healing sort of these self-limiting beliefs, these beliefs of not being worthy and deserving to be seen and received exactly as you are. And we also have Goddess of Dreams, vision, intuition, receptivity. So you might be getting some kind of download, some kind of dream, or some kind of an epiphany related to kind of what your next stage is. As you've completed some things within yourself, you've raised your vibration, you've reclaimed a lot of your parts. It feels that there's some kind of wisdom, some kind of example that this sets for others. This may be something where you are feeling very compelled to help others in their own personal process of transformation. Maybe just by sharing your story and being an inspiration, some of you may feel inclined to kind of coach other people or help other people. Open yourself up as that resource, that kind of support system to others who are on this same journey of reclamation within themselves. This is also really speaking about kind of as you've brought these parts home, there's an ability to kind of dig deeper within yourself and to determine what is your purpose, the life you may have been leading before, sort of maybe what you were doing for work, who you were surrounding yourself with, your likes, your dislikes. As you've changed yourself, all these things may change as well. And so if it seems that, a lot of doors may be closing, or things that you once resonated with, you're not feeling it anymore. It doesn't feel the same. There's this thirst for more. There's just a feeling of kind of your reality around you becoming a little more dim, the more you have become bright. That all of this can really be this indication of a next chapter, that next phase, something else that you have prepared yourself for, and that feeling of no longer resonating with things that have been in your reality, that have been your world, you have created into your world. That really being the indicator that you're ready for that next step. Endings always lead to beginnings, and so really taking the time to kind of look beyond the immediacy of that, any kind of feelings of, again, apathy or being a little bit out of place. Instead of dwelling in that energy of lamentation, your spirit team just wants you to know that now is the time to receive new opportunities, that as these cycles and these other things close out, new doors will open for you. Taking the time to really, based on these feelings, accepting these feelings of lackluster, then turning your sights to what do you want to experience that's different? What would be something out of the ordinary from, the routine that you have, or what you have come to call your reality? Starting to put these intentions into place, starting to put some plans in place, maybe starting to do some research, some investigation, starting to build something for yourself. Out of this experience that you've had, or kind of harnessing that vibration of wholeness and authenticity that you have cultivated and you embody and you now exude within yourself. It's almost like the light you are shining is providing a grander scheme of horizons that are available to you and are now within your reach. And we also have leadership, forefront. You have the opportunity to take the lead. It may be in work, personal, or family situations. You have the wisdom and knowledge to do what is best at this time. No more playing it safe and blending in with the pack. Shine your light and speak your truth. So great confirmation there about that authenticity, that fearlessness, not allowing others to dim your light or to make you question who you are, what resonates as your truth. Relying on that inner compass, seeing kind of these external influences and factors as, just confirmation sometimes, but understanding not everyone's going to be in resonance with you. Not everybody's going to understand your journey. Not everybody is at the same ability to emanate and receive frequencies as you do. Taking personal ownership to, not try to fit back in with situations that you have outgrown, but also taking this time to really recognize these lines here in this solar plexus energy. You've taken back your power in major ways, or are in the process of doing that, and reaching this stage of having, brought these pieces together, creating this sense of wholeness. It's not something you're meant to just keep within. It's something that you're meant to express that out, standing in that authenticity, standing unapologetically in who you are. It sets an example for others, even just vibrationally. For others of you, this can be that confirmation of, in some way, that you're supposed to bring this out, share your story, share your journey, be that coach, be that support system for others, that point of encouragement for others, that point of perspective for others who are also in that same process of recognizing the power that has always lived within them, that they may have been kind of distracted and sort of looking outside of themselves for fulfillment and answers, when the answer has always been within. So I'm going to get some affirmations for you, group 3. This can be like mantras or just some final little bits of guidance about this. Okay, and we have Starseed. Raise the vibration of the planet through your radiant, loving light. So confirmation right there of, this authenticity that you are embodying, that you have cultivated, that you are stepping into or have stepped into. It is of great service to yourself and to others. You show the way that a different version of expression of self, a different way of kind of finding and capturing and allowing the free flow of the light within yourself is possible. Standing in that authenticity and not allowing that to be kind of dimmed or diminished by the opinions or the abilities of others to perceive that or to receive that. Learning to become very self-reliant, very kind of self-affirming in who you are, and why you have come into this lifetime, and what you have been through in this life, how that has shaped you, who you are, not who you were told to be, not who you think you should have been, or wish you could have been, but who you are in this actual moment. Standing very firmly and very fearlessly in that present reality of who you are. You're able to then again tap into and be that beacon and be that torch of this this vibration of authenticity, which is an example for others. For some of you, this will be very directly an example for others. For other people, this is going to be something just when you hold on to that, when you know yourself, and that is unquestioning, that is untouchable, that is truth, and all of everything else that surrounds is maybe versions of untruths that it can't touch, it can't compromise that core reality within yourself. When you stand in that knowing, you are that living radiance of the higher vibration, which again kind of calls to others, it calls to the circumstances around you and invites them to also endeavor this work, to reclaim their parts, to realize their own innate wholeness and perfection within, to stand in that truth reality and then emanate that out as well. And we also have truth. See your light, know your power, have the courage to walk your truth. So again, another confirmation there of this truth, the truth of who you are, not allowing that to be dimmed or diminished by anybody outside of yourself any longer. Sometimes we will encounter circumstances and people that, really uplift us, that confirm for us who we are, that, see that and admire that and love that and embrace that and understand that. Other times, we encounter people in situations that, don't understand that feel threatened by that question that feel that call within them to do that same work toward sort of cleansing themselves and loving themselves to the point of full acceptance. And it's, it brings up currents of fear. And with that fear is kind of the inclination to reject. And so really seeing that, seeing kind of the way that people are receiving and responding to you, recognizing that, taking that in, leaning towards situations that feel good and that are encouraging, and distancing yourself from people and circumstances that are not in alignment with you. Taking the time to actively navigate in the direction of where that personal truth is calling you, that truth of your heart, that truth of your soul, allowing that to radiate out and to shine out unapologetically. And with the knowledge that when you stand in that truth and you walk in that truth, the people and circumstances that are meant to align with you, that see that light, appreciate that light, and are of that kind of similar and contributing vibration, they will magnetize to you. As things sort of fall away, people fall away, versions of yourself fall away, you are actively birthing the eventual manifestation and kind of culmination of this work that you have done within yourself. This reality that you've created within yourself then unfolds around you. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and just some handmade jewelry at this point in time, no longer divination tools, in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.